Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, thank you for joining us on CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye in our major story. The People's Democratic Party dismisses allegations against National Chairman Adamu Muazu, passes vote of confidence in him. Also in this program, the People's Democratic Party calls for an investigation of the Civil War records of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, accuses him of war crimes. Chadian and Nigerian army launch joint combined air and ground assault on Boko Haram. State. Outside Nigeria, Russian President Vladimir Putin says the decision to annex the Ukrainian territory of Crimea was taken weeks before its seizure by paramilitary forces. The People's Democratic Party has expressed satisfaction with the leadership style of its national chairman Adamu Muazu since the assumption of office over a year ago. Party spokesman Olisa Metu said in a statement that the leadership style of Muazu has enhanced the support base of the party ahead the 2015 elections. This, he noted, is in spite of what he described as attempts to use spurious publications in a section of the media to tarnish the image of the PDP chairman. Metu maintained that the aim of those behind the mischievous report is to sow seed of discord and cause confusion within the party's rank, distract the leadership, and undermine its presidential campaign. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has accused the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, General Muhammadu Buhari, of committing war crimes during the Civil War. Spokesman for the party's presidential campaign team, Femi Fani-Kayode, said at a press conference in Umuahia, Abia State, that Buhari allegedly played some role in the massacre of unarmed civilians in Asaba. He argued that if it was true that the APC candidate was one of the soldiers that took part in the killings, then he should be tried for crimes against humanity. But APC presidential campaign team has described Fani-Kayode's claim as felonious. It also dismissed the attack on Buhari's war record as a pointer to PDP's desperation. Its spokesman, Garba Shehu, wondered why the PDP would take steps that are capable of questioning the nation's unity. The Joint Action Front has warned that the use of the military to force the postponement of the first scheduled elections is dangerous and threatens the new election dates of March 28 and April 11. Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the press briefing organized by the group on the state of the nation and filed in the support.
The current security situation and the drop in the oil revenue, according to the group, has led to default in the payment of workers' salaries, retrenchment, austerity measures in the 2015 budget, and all sorts of measures which has increased the suffering of the masses. The chairman of the Joint Action Front, Oladipo Fashino, says Nigerians must resist the military and guard against another postponement of the general elections.
We should therefore oppose all manner of electoral manipulations and postponement under whatever guise, including the ongoing rumor of a military coup or imposition of an interim regime to scuttle the election. The clear lesson from history, our history, is that such an aberration will leave the working people and the oppressed masses, and in fact, most of the Nigerians who are not in the ruling class, worst off.
The secretary of the group, Abiodun Aremu, speaks on the need for the situation in the country to change for the better.
There is an interest that is involved on how they are going to change their society. So the context of how an objective to change society is funded is essentially dependent on the quality of the human resources.
The group proposed a broad movement that they believe will work to make life better for the average Nigerian.
The reality is that the ruling political class in this country has boxed us to a situation where we have a choice either to choose between the devil or to choose between the deep blue sea. That is where we are. So it's an alternative that the Nigerian people are looking for. It is that alternative that we are here, and we are not just us. We are not alone. Like Chairman said, we cannot do it alone. That we are collaborating with other people who are disenchanted, other people who are angry, other people who know that come March 28, that nothing new will happen in this country. Because the existing economic system that has marginalized the Nigerian people is the same system that these same people are going to continue to foist on the Nigerian people.
The group urged all Nigerians to work together, adding that all hands must be on deck to stop the military from taking over the affairs of the country. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
As part of efforts to adequately sensitize voters ahead of the forthcoming general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Oyo State has presented the broad format the voter education materials to the physically challenged to equip them with the necessary information they would need to participate in the election. State President Electoral Commissioner Rufus Akeju, who also consulted media professionals in the state for the best possible means of voters' education, admonished residents to ensure they collect their permanent voter cards within the extended date.
Development of providing the physically challenged electorates with materials in Braille format for effective voter sensitization in the wake of elections in Oyo State have been lauded as an exceptional and landmark achievement by the Chairman Joint National Association of Persons Living with Disabilities in the state. He described the move as long overdue and a good step towards future improvement.
Thank God that the future has been brought into the present, and as I had prophesied, I've just come back from the Holy Land. So probably in the next political dispensation, we will have people with disabilities, especially people that are visually impaired, vying for offices like the governorship and maybe senatorial positions.
The resident electoral commissioner, Rufus Akeju, says such move is to ensure a level playing ground for all eligible voters, regardless of their challenges. He also advised those who have not picked up their permanent voter cards to do so in the course of the extended date of collection, closing 22nd March.
2,381,102 cards. 1,637,735 have been collected. We have still in our custody 743,367. Please encourage people that yet to collect their cards to come forward and collect them.
Akeju also used the platform to dismiss claims of an intended vote of no confidence by Rex nationwide against the chairman of the commission, saying it is a lie and a figment of the imagination of the peddlers of such rumor. He, however, called for the vibrant support of the media to disseminate the right information for the electorate to make informed choices.
Let me reiterate the determination of the Commission to continue to nourish a positive relationship with the media establishment in Nigeria, in particular in our state here in Oyo. In order to take our democracy to the next level, we shall make every vote count and consolidate our democracy.
With a renewed focus on voter education by INEC in Oyo State, the expectation from these is a better informed electorate that would make well thought out decisions to signify a clear departure from the past. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
However, controversies across party lines have continued to trail the use of the smart card reader for the 2015 general elections. And as part Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says the use of the device during the polls should curb electoral rigging. Fashola made this affirmation at a function in Lagos where he berated the People's Democratic Party's opposition to the use of the card readers, wondering why a party that claims to be fighting corruption via technology is running away from the use of the same technology to prevent electoral fraud.
On one hand, they promise you technology. On the other hand, they are afraid to use an electronic card reader. Wake up and smell the coffee. Smell the coffee. It's brewing. What kind of promise is that?
The 2015 general elections coming closer by the day. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says it's a shame that despite the over 1 trillion naira budget for security by the Jonathan-led administration, the nation is still in the throes of security. Fashola spoke at the Amuwo Duffing All Progressives Congress continues its governorship campaign in the state. Patience Ajiboye, who was on the campaign trail, has more in this report.
Amuwo Duffing served as the latest stop for APC's governorship campaign train as APC stalwarts and aspirants became one with residents of the area. Speaking at the rally, Lagos APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode says he will complete all projects while also ensuring steady development with a formula he described as 20-20-57 plan for Lagos residents.
The program where we get for all una local governments, I go continue. I don't tell you now before. I get one program that they call it 20-20-57. For every local government, for every year, we go do minimum of 20 roads and 20 street lights. If we do it for the 57 local government, that means say for 1 year, we go do 1,140 roads waiting for local government area. If we do it for 4 years, we go do almost 5,000 roads.
Also speaking at the rally, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola urges Lagos not to vote Jonathan or the PDP due to what he described as inefficiency, despite his being lucky. Wondering why the over 1 trillion naira security budget has not impacted positively in addressing the security situation in the country. Fashola says the APC government will always be with the people all the way.
Now, 6 weeks to election, they now bring in equipment for the military. Go back on your TV, on your iPad, go and listen to Senator Anyanwu, who was chairman of defense, begging for money for the Navy in the budget of last year. Begging for money for Navy to fuel their boats. Yet Nigeria budgeted over 1 trillion for defense. He now say Buhari did not buy gun in 1985. He wants to use 1985 weapon to fight 2015 war. Will you wear 1985 trouser?
Special guest and Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha praised Fashola, saying he is now known globally for his administration, while also adding that Lagos is a blessing to the Igbos.
Where Igbos have gone and made such profit like Lagos. And there's no abandoned property in Lagos. Your market is secured. I have told him to partner with you for your market, and he will do so.
National leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, who was also at the first gate ground venue of the rally, says security agents have been denied right to insurance due in no small part to the Jonathan administration.
Listen to Jonathan.
He never say, Nigeria, I'm sorry. Today, he no fit pay insurance for the life of the soldiers and the police who are working in danger. Their insurance has elapsed.
Even in the scorching sun, residents tripped out in their numbers and were entertained by some Nollywood actors as well as musicians. Patience Ajiboye, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Actualize himself. He no go tire.
We'll take our first break on the news tonight, and we'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
I'm so happy every day because I'm healthy and strong. Playing, jumping, here I go. Scott's Emotion helps me grow.
A daily dose of Scott's Emotion, which combines omega-3, calcium, vitamins A and D, supports the healthy development of your child's brain and body. Scott's Emotion promotes active minds and strong immunity in growing children. New Scott's Orange Flavor Multivitamin Emotion.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of our top stars. The People's Democratic Party dismisses allegations against National Chief. This is vote of confidence in him. The People's Democratic Party calls for an investigation of the Civil War records of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, accuses him of war crimes. Chadian and Nigerian army launched joint combined air and ground assault on Boko Haram in Yobe State. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG, and we'll stream live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, never space, and news. As the nation once again steer the new dates of the general elections, an Osun-based pro-democracy group has warned against any further shift in the dates. The group, which tagged itself the March 28 movement, embarked on a peaceful protest to various critical stakeholders in the electoral process. Rashid forwarded this report from Osogbo.
The March 28 movement, a pro-democracy group advocating for the sanctity of the election dates of March 28 and April 11 in Osun State and throughout Nigeria. And with this in mind, the group embarked on a peaceful protest to critical stakeholders in the electoral process in the state, and speaking at the INEC office to the resident electoral commissioner about their expectation.
What Nigerians are expecting presently is that there should be election comes March 28th and April 11th. So where after that, we'll be expecting a proper handing over to the newly elected government May 29 this year.
We have been told from our members across the state and the federation that people are buying voters' cards in some states. We want to say categorical no against this, and we are calling on the general public not to sell their voters' card to anyone. And those that have not collected their voters' card should also endeavor to go and collect theirs before the day for election.
Now, things are improving, and we hope that by the grace of God, nothing will change the date of the election. I think you get what I'm saying. So please, let us continue to pray.
But just as the March 28 movement continues its campaign for the sanctity of the new dates of the general polls, others are also on the offensive against political violence. They say the youth are on the receiving end of all violence, either political or otherwise.
Governance in this country is actually very lucrative, and people see it as an investment. But the most important thing is that we must get the best among us to represent us, and we shun electoral violence.
If we are claiming that we'll take up the leadership mantle and then we are the ones who are leading violence today, then we know that we're in for a violent future. That's why we need to tell ourselves the truth from today. We are not tools for violence, we are tools to build the nation.
While the intrigues continue unabated, many observers are looking forward to the conduct of the general elections on the rescheduled dates. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
The People's Democratic Party in Rivers State has raised an alarm that the All Progressives Congress and the Rivers State government, in league with the police special unit in the state, are plotting to kill its PDP leaders. The Rivers PDP says it had uncovered an alleged plot by the APC to use operatives of the C41, a special police unit established 8 years ago to combat the scourge of kidnapping in the state. And there are now opinions that the PDP governorship campaign organization, according to the spokesman of the PDP governorship campaign team in Rivers, Emma Oka, has now accused the APC and the Rivers state government of conspiring with the C41 police outfit to orchestrate political violence in the state and blame it on President Goodluck Jonathan. The Nigerian authorities on Monday joined the other members of the Commonwealth to celebrate the 2015 Commonwealth Day. The ceremony, which took place at the Education Ministry, also provided government officials an opportunity to reaffirm Nigeria's commitment on cordial relationships with other members of the international community. They noted that Commonwealth has afforded the country maximum benefits, covering all spheres of human endeavor.
These students, selected from different schools in the Federal Capital Territory, are here in line with the theme of the celebration, A Young Commonwealth. Minister of State for Education, Viola Onwuliri, did not mince words in telling the youths to shun all forms of antisocial behaviors. The youth were also educated on the importance of Commonwealth Day celebration, especially to Nigeria.
The interests of the youth have always been given pride of place in the planning and implementation of policies for change and development. However, we also know that in different parts of the continent, a whole lot still needs to be done. It's a common phenomenon that the period of youthfulness is more prone to restiveness, which can be manipulated for negative and selfish.
What we share through being members of the Commonwealth is more important and worthy of protection than perhaps at any other time in the Commonwealth's existence. We are guardians of a precious flame, and it is our duty not only to keep it burning brightly, but to keep it replenished for the decades ahead.
Students who spoke with CoreTV News called on the government to increase youth initiative programs in the country. They say the occasion exposed them to international events and are now better informed of Nigeria's role among the Committee of Nations.
Yeah, I've learned so much that it's good to give a helping hand to other countries which are not privileged to all these educational systems, to have a hand in them, to help them.
I learned that we should learn to live in unity with us and everybody, even if it's not from Nigeria, any country. We are all one, and learn to live in peace. That's what I've learned. And we come from different places and meet each other in one place, and we'll see different things, and we'll learn to adapt and new things anywhere we find ourselves.
The theme of the 2015 celebration, A Young Commonwealth, is, according to the organizers, a reflection of the Commonwealth's commitment to securing a better future for the youth in the face of security challenges.
A resounding round of applause.
Federal government says it's been spending about 100 billion naira annually on educational projects across Nigerian universities. It also insisted that it has over the years paid special attention to the education sector through provision of infrastructure. Vice President Namadi Sambo disclosed this at the foundation laying ceremony of a 360-bed female hostel block named after Dame Patience Jonathan and a modern international conference center at the Bayero University, Kano. He added that the federal government has approved 1.5 trillion naira from the Presidential Support Fund on education to to cater for the need of Nigerian universities and other tertiary institutions. The Vice President also held an interactive session with members of the university community shortly after the ceremony.
Have a total allocation of 11.9 billion naira, while 3 billion further allocation for higher impact projects under the 2010-2014 intervention funds. The police academy at Udil, which has now been upgraded into a degree awarding institution for a university, has a total of 8 ongoing key projects with a total allocation of 2.4 billion, while 1.5 billion naira was allocated as a take-off grant for the new university under the 2012-2014 intervention funds.
We have deliberately pursued, or we have been pursuing policies geared towards repositioning the university from a predominantly humanities-based university to a science-based one, expanding access through the introduction of new courses and new programs, promoting research excellence through establishment of new research centers, as well as more graduate programs, and deepening academic excellence through training and retraining of staff and so on.
The federal government has flagged off a 3-day workshop and public procurement process for professional women and girls under the Growing Girls and Women in Nigeria (GWIN) program. It's aimed at training 50 professional women on public procurement and 5 rural women on small items and entrepreneurial skills. Paul Samoa has more.
The program tagged GWIN is an initiative of the Works Ministry to give the women folk a head start in matters of procurement and other economic activities. President Jonathan also pledged to give more opportunity to the girl child in the area of education.
Some parts of the country, yes, the girls are taken care of. They attend school with their male counterparts at the primary, secondary, up to the university. In some cases, the school enrollment in some parts of the country, you even see more girls than boys now. But the ratio in other parts is still low. And we want to make sure that we improve that. We want to make sure that every child, every girl child in Nigeria has a unique opportunity to go through school and not pass through discriminatory processes.
Female cabinet members hailed the program as a welcome development, especially as it is also to train 250 rural women on basic techniques of road maintenance and entrepreneurial skills. They expressed optimism that the GWIN initiative will impact positively on the socio-economic lives of the beneficiaries and also afford them the opportunity to have a voice in nation building.
The breakdown of the girls and women that are trained are as follows. We train 55 women in training on procurement processes drawn from the 6 geopolitical zones. 80 were trained on water girls management. 116 trained on borehole operation and maintenance. 120 trained on construction of household toilet slabs. 167 trained on community-led total sanitation. And 100 trained on entrepreneurial skills. 80 trained on leadership skills and conflict resolution, and 60 trained on soap making, detergent making, insecticide, and so on.
In the Ministry of, for us in the Ministry of Environment, to ensure that we give Nigerians a conducive environment to carry out their activities. The ministries that have come here, Ministry of Water Resources, Agric in particular, cannot perform if the Ministry of Environment neglect the degraded lands in the country. And Mr. President has been doing quite a lot to ensure that the land, the ministry has what it takes to give the Nigerian environment conducive atmosphere for the people to carry out their activities.
A number of female students from selected schools across the country also benefited from an aspect of the initiative targeted at the girl child.
We had the opportunity to move forward and learn more things than we expected. I learned things like programming, I learned mobile application creation, I learned so many great things, and this has helped me to decide what I want to be in life. I know definitely I have an opportunity in the ICT industry, and this is through the creation of this club. So I'd like to very much thank you to for creating this club, for providing the funds.
It has made me exposed to so many skills that I wouldn't know. For example, programming languages, Python, COBOL, BASIC, how to use it and its functions. It has also made my peer group develop more interest in being a member of the Data Girls Club due to the goals, aims, and objectives. I see a future where girls and women will be in the ICT world through the impact of digital. So far, the Digital Girls Club has made us realize our potentials in ICT. Aside this, it has changed our mindset towards ICT and given us a sense of confidence. We learned about trailblazers in ICT. These are women who have made a difference in ICT. And it now makes me know that yes, I can make a difference as well. I can do what they have done and even better.
On successful completion of the training, the Ministry of Works is expected to set aside at least 10% of its contract for the 50 selected professional women. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has enjoined Nigerians not to accept the failure of the federal government to ensure stable power supply as an excuse that power supply will continue to be a mirage in the country. Fashola emphasized this at the commissioning of Peninsula Integrated Power Project in Lekki. Abel Oluwole has more in this report presented from our studios.
According to experts, Lagos requires 10,000 megawatts of electricity daily, out of which about 1,000, which is a mere 10% of the required power, is currently available. The commissioning of the 5th Integrated Power Project, according to Fashola, attests to the stance of his administration that stable power supply is never a rocket science.
When they come to tell you lies about why you don't have power, you will tell them that there's power here. But that it is their responsibility to bring it into your homes. So if the owners of a co-disco sign an agreement with me today, your residences will have power within no longer than 6 to 8 months. It's possible. It's that simple. All the distribution apparatus is there. A little wiring, a little cabling, we will expand the power. It's 1 more or 2 more turbines.
He, however, called on Nigerians to reject the regular excuse of the federal government that stable power supply is impossible in the country.
It seems to me that the amount of power on the grid reduces with each power plant they claim to build. The darkness worsens after the president speaks on power or alleges that he has recommissioned an existing power plant. You know, look, he came to Lagos and said that he had just recommissioned Egbe power plant. Egbe power plant was built when I was in the university. Those who know his history will remember. So let nobody deceive you. He has 6 turbines generating at least 200 megawatts each. All the 6 were down. The private company that bought it refixed 1. That's what he came to commission.
According to the General Manager of Lagos State Electricity Board, Damilola Ogunbiyi, effective power supply is possible in the country if there is judicious use of available resources in the country. The IPP is expected to provide stable power supply to state facilities in Lekki, Ikoyi and its environs. The commissioning of the 1.2-kilometer Glover Road in Ikoyi by Fashola, however, brought the occasion to a climax.
Nigeria's military has confirmed the launch of a ground and air offensive against the Boko Haram group in northeastern Nigeria by Chadian and Nigerian forces. The offensive came after the African Union on Friday endorsed the creation of a regional force of up to 10,000 men to join the fight against the group, which on Saturday pledged allegiance to the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The force, the idea for which was adopted at an AU summit in January, will be based in Chad's capital, the Pan-Africa Bloc Peace and Security Council said. It will be mandated to prevent the spread of Boko Haram activities and other terrorist groups and eradicate their presence, the body agreed in a meeting. We're back with more on business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
The Smart States initiatives by the federal government, which has compelled the states to reduce the cost of broadband access through tax reduction and simplified regulation, has now forced Nigeria to move up the global affordable internet ranking. Nigeria was ranked second in the recent Affordability Index ranking of 30 developing economies, overtaking African mobile hubs like Kenya, Morocco, and Uganda. On a global ranking, the country improved to 11th position out of 51 economies, a rise from a previous ranking of 19th out of 46 economies. The Nigeria's broadband penetration rate stands at just 10%. Already, Bayelsa, Ondo, Katsina, Lagos, Cross River State, and the FCT have signed on the Smart States initiative, while Anambra, Delta, Gombe, and Osun State are yet to agree on the principle to become smart states. The revenue accruable to the members of Seaports Terminal Operators Association of Nigeria dropped by 58% due to slide in naira value and low import. The association chairman Vicky Hestrop made this known to newsmen in Lagos on Monday. Hestrop says the situation had been compounded by drop in cargo volume at the ports since the beginning of the year. Vessel volume dropped significantly by an average of 27% across the various terminals. Only 29 vessels were declared for the Lagos pilotage between the last week of February and the first week of March 2015. Now let's join Sabina Izoku for update on the stock market report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabina Izoku. The equity transaction on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today as the Nigerian All-Shares Index appreciated by 0.47% to close at 31,195.93 basis points. The market capitalization increased to close at 10.41 trillion naira. In all, a total volume of 466.16 million units of shares valued at 5 billion naira were exchanged in 5,601 deals. On the gainers side, category top, the gainers chart closed at 41 naira 28 kobo with 3 naira 38 kobo price difference, followed by United Africa Company of Nigeria, Julius Berger, Guinness, and Nigerian Brewers. On the flip side, Mobil Oil top the losers chart, followed by Presco, Ashaka Cement, PZ Cusson, and Ikeja Hotel. Meanwhile, Zenith Bank top the traders chart, followed by First Bank of Nigerian Holdings, trailing by First City Monument Bank, Diamond Bank, and United Bank for Africa. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today. I am Sabina Izoku.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Browsing what I started by full sport news. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Power style, and that's what he delivered. Usain Bolt storming, Puyol with a flying lead.
Go taking them out in the lead and moving.
A very thanks for joining us on our Sport News tonight. I am Brownson Owana. The controversy rocking the contract between Stephen Keshi and the Nigerian Football Federation will soon be a thing of the past, according to the Nigerian Football Federations. They will be having a meeting on Wednesday to discuss the details of Stephen Keshi's contract. The meeting, which according to Felix Anyasi will center on the new contract offered to the big boss, will point out and evaluate his reactions to some of the terms itemized in the contract. He confirmed the meeting is at the instance of the big boss and that the NFF obliged to it so as to put an end to the raging wars of war between both parties. And now to some fixtures that would be coming up in the UEFA Champions League on Tuesday. The UEFA Champions League round of 16 continues this week, with Portuguese side FC Porto hosting their Swiss opponent FC Basel on Tuesday at the Drango Studio. Going ahead, Spanish giant Real Madrid will play host to Schalke 04. On Wednesday's fixture, we see Chelsea playing host to Paris Saint-Germain, while Monaco will take on Arsenal. And a quick update for the game that is currently ongoing in the FA Cup in England, where Manchester United is currently losing to Arsenal by 2-1 goals from Nacho Monreal and Danny Welbeck for Arsenal, and Wayne Rooney scoring the only goal for Manchester United. It currently stands at 85th minute. And that's my final whistle on Sport News tonight. Very big thanks for being there. I am Brownson Wana.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Outside Nigeria now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has revealed he planned the annexation of Crimea 4 days before unidentified gunmen appeared in the region. Crimea was formally absorbed on 18th March to international condemnation. Russia denied instigating the revolt against Ukraine, but in a forthcoming film, Putin says he ordered work on returning Crimea to Russia at an all-night meeting in February. The talks were called to plan the rescue of Ukraine's deposed president. The operation to annex Crimea was kept secret at the time, with Russia denying all involvement, although Putin later admitted deploying troops on the peninsula, where they stood behind Crimea's self-defense forces. To end CoreTV Primetime News tonight, a look at our major story. We reported that the People's Democratic Party has dismissed allegations against National Chairman Adamu Muazu and has passed vote of confidence on him. The PDP has called for an investigation of the civil war records of the presidential candidate of the APC, Muhammadu Buhari, and accused him of war crimes. Chadian and Nigerian army launched joint combined air and ground assault on Boko Haram in Yobe State. And that wraps it tonight on CoreTV Primetime News. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.